Without my corneal transplant surgery, I believe I would be blind today. I sure wouldn't have been able to work as a transport driver and see North America. And I don't think I would have followed my dream of being a country music performer and recording artist either.
Thousands of Canadians have benefited from donated eye tissue, but many more whose eyes have been damaged through accidents or disease wait for the tissue donation that could restore their sight. Even though eye banks in Canada have collected, processed, and distributed tissue for corneal transplants since 1955, the need still outnumbers the donations.
Each eye we receive is a potential source of sight for a patient. It's not like kidney or renal transplants where we require cross-matching. There are problems with corneal transplants, but they're rare, and usually the outcome is excellent. We should be getting many more donors every year. This is such a valuable program. I encourage everyone to go out and ask their families to make this program the success it should be.
The key to the eye bank program is in request for consent, the act of talking to the next of kin about eye donation. Everyone has the legal right to give the gift of sight by donating his or her eyes. After a death, if a family is not approached about eye donation, the gift doesn't happen. There is no consent, no eye donation, and no corneal transplants. In some facilities, requesting consent for organ and tissue donation is assigned to specific people or departments, like social work or the chaplaincy. But in most places, the best people to ask for eye donation are those doctors and nurses who get to know the patient and their family.
The death of a patient can be difficult for staff, especially in those units where death does not occur very often. Healthcare professionals are very sensitive to the impact this has on family, and the last thing they want to do is be intrusive or add to a family member's pain and loss. Staff can be reassured that many families may derive comfort from being able to donate their loved one's eyes.
We see people in the emergency room who die suddenly and often tragically. Sometimes it is intimidating speaking with families about eye donation, but in my experience, families are really receptive.
When approaching the family about eye donation, respecting their privacy is crucial. So find a quiet, private place to talk.
Have you got a moment to speak with me just over here in the patient's lounge?
Sure. That'd be great.
If this is one of the first times that you've met the family, give them the time to feel comfortable talking with you. Acknowledge their loss. Express your sympathy and allow them the opportunity to get in touch with their grief.
I'm so sorry about your loss. I understand that this is such a difficult time for you and that you have so many things to think about.
It's quite likely that this is the first spare moment that the family has had to express their pain. Because every family's loss is unique, it's best not to put yourself in their place and assume what this particular death means. However, you can and should let family members know that you realize that they are distressed. By building some rapport, you can begin to discuss the idea of eye donation.
Did you or your son ever talk about eye donation?
A gentle means of broaching the issue is to ask an open-ended question.
Have you ever heard about the eye donor program?
No, I haven't.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to tell you a little bit about it. The eye donor program is essentially...
A more direct approach might be...
Mrs. Collins, you have the opportunity to donate your husband's eyes and give the gift of sight. As many as 8 people can be helped by this gift. But please, don't feel pressured. We will respect whatever decision you make.
Okay, well, we would really like some time to think about this and discuss it some more. We really don't know much about the process of donating.
Mm-hmm.
By getting the family to talk about eye donation, you will find a decision regarding consent will come quite naturally.
Surprisingly, people are rarely hostile. I'm sometimes met with confusion because the family member doesn't know how to answer my question or doesn't know what they should do. But I haven't experienced hostility. Some reply with a simple no, and others want some more time so they can speak with other family members before making a decision. And others say yes right away. We lost our loved one, why not somebody else benefit from our tragedy?
Often the family believed the deceased would be an unsuitable candidate for eye donation. They may say he needed very strong glasses or grandmother had cataracts. However, these eyes are usually perfectly still suitable for eye donation.
Understandably, some families may be overwrought at the death of a loved one and cannot make a decision right away. Give them time to consider donation. Answer questions as best you can. And if you don't have all the answers, let the family know that you'll find out for them.
What do you think? Well, I don't really know. What do you think he'll look like?
I don't know. We are worried about that. We are planning an open casket service. Will this affect how he looks?
No, it won't affect how he looks. He won't be disfigured at all. A conformer is placed under the lids so the eye maintains its shape. This will not affect an open casket service.
Being able to offer the gift of sight through eye donation is seen by most world religions as a great good. We do the world a great service by offering families this opportunity to give. It is important, however, to remember that for some families, they may object to this for their own personal reasons, and that's okay.
Speaking to bereaved families about eye donation need not take a lot of time and effort. And you are not expected to talk anyone into anything they're not comfortable with. You are simply giving people an opportunity to consider eye donation.
Because she had cardiac difficulties, we can't use her heart. Have you ever heard about the eye donor program?
No.
It's a wonderful program. This pamphlet gives you a bit more information about it. Raji's corneas could give the gift of sight to 2 people who are presently blind. Do you think Raji would have liked to have given her eyes for eye donation?
Definitely. Once I got over the feeling that I was intruding when approaching a family about eye donation, I quickly came to realize that it was a very positive thing to do for the family.
When a death is particularly tragic or a family is overwhelmed by grief, it may seem that much more difficult to seek consent for eye donation. The impulse might be to not ask that one time, but by doing so, you may actually be denying the family a source of comfort. The family may come to see a gift of eye donation as something good and positive that has come from their loss. And that positive light may make the difference in helping them move through the grieving process. Be proud to help the family find comfort and the deceased the right to give the gift of sight by requesting consent for eye donation.
I was surprised when a nurse asked me about donating my mom's eyes. I didn't even know this was a possibility. I talked it over with my family, and we decided that Mom would have wanted to be an eye donor. It's been a year since her death, and we feel really good that we did this.